I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Sparky.
And Salty.
Okay, so we're about to do, I think his name is Ihsahn. I want to say the name properly. The name of this song is
Twin Black Angels.
Twin Black. So this is a lead singer of Emperor.
Oh.
So we did Emperor yesterday.
Yeah.
I guess people were saying they wrote that song when they were like 16, 17 years old.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
That's some crazy shit.
Yeah, that's some crazy insights there.
I mean, it's really crazy that some people are just like, I'm just gonna be a legendary rock star if I'm 16 years old.
Yeah. Hey, pass that Red Bull.
So, yeah, we need to get we reached out to Red Bull for, we said, hey, we're going to sponsor you guys, or you guys are going to sponsor us. And they're like, yeah, we don't do social media. We do our own.
Yeah.
Because they pretty much know that people are addicted to their shit.
Right. So. People need to be alive during the day.
So, yeah. Some people do. I don't even know why you're tired. I mean, God almighty.
Because, you know what? When you go to bed at 7 a.m. and you sleep till 2, it just makes you feel like shit. It just does. I
don't know. I couldn't relate to you.
Because that's only 7 hours of sleep, but it's like you still woke up at 2 in the afternoon.
I got a couple. I'm good. Some Red Bull. Okay, so this is usually our Where in the World is the Village segment. Mm-hmm. And this is the beautiful Leah. Leah. And Leah was actually one of 3 winners of the Sori Secret shirt giveaway. Yes.
She gave a ridiculous analysis of the
maybe you're sick
on the
because
back.
of your secrets. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So just for the uninitiated, so we've got this amazing shirt that we never have available to show you beautiful people.
Here it is.
It's a shirt we really believe in, and
maybe you're sick because of your secrets.
Right, and that's Sori on the front, right? And so she's got that going on, and so we've been hey, it's Vin and Sori merch. Well,
if somebody wants one of those and your size isn't on the website, then I don't know, message us.
We'll try to work something out for you. Okay. But what's really been cool is that, of their own initiatives, some of our village friends have been like, you know what, I'm going to buy a shirt, give it to somebody. So we've had 3 people do that so far. Unbelievable. Yeah. They all don't want credit for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're like, just give it to the person and whatever. It's just been unbelievable. Like 3 days in a row. It's insane. It's like that thing at Starbucks where it's like, you pay for the person behind you, and then the person behind you goes, "Oh my God!" and they pay for the person behind them, and so like that happened like with 80 customers one time at Starbucks.
Really? I was in one of those lines before.
Yeah.
But when I had showed up, this was before you and I were together, and I literally only I was like scrounging coins to pay for what I was gonna get, so I couldn't pay for the person behind me because I was like, I only had 99 cents for my one bagel. You know what I mean? So, and the person was like, "Are you gonna pay for the next person?" And I was like, "No." And you could tell that they looked at me with like disgust. I was like, "I don't have it."
Grace cannot be demanded. So anyway, what we did was we said, okay, here's an essay contest. Tell us what you think the phrase "maybe you're sick because of your secrets" means. Mm-hmm. We have 3 shirts to give away. We've already got 2 decided winner.
Yeah.
We will announce the next winner tomorrow.
So obviously, I think you said it, but Leah was our winner.
Was winner number 1.
Well, actually, she was winner number 2. I don't know why we didn't announce winner number 1.
I don't know. I don't even know why that's an important detail for anyone.
Because winner number 1 might like to know that they were winner number 1.
So that's on the way to you, Leah. Congratulations.
Our next show, we're going to say who
the next show, the next winner, and we've got one more shirt that we know of. We've got one more shirt free for the contest that we know.
But we don't have a winner. Like, the spot's still open.
Right, the third spot is still open. So if you could still send us what the phrase means to you, you're still in the running to get a shirt. Also,
it's a reaction. There's no wrong answer. You react to the phrase.
Right. Also, and shout out to everybody that sent them and didn't win. That's okay.
Yeah.
Also, we've got a very big project that we as a village are literally going to do to literally change the world. I'm not bullshitting you. I'm dead serious. It's going to be great. I'm very, very proud of us. And it's basically sparked by you guys. We're like, okay,
that's exactly how the idea came up.
Yeah. So our fellow villagers have inspired us. Like, let's think bigger than the shirt and do something like mega tangible. No.
Oh, we're waiting.
Okay, all right. Also, a couple videos back, we promised a free book if somebody could guess a number between 1 and 100.
Nobody's guessed the number. Some people have gotten so close.
Yeah.
So close. And Vin gave somebody, like, a clue.
Yeah, because he was so close.
Yeah.
And
he still missed it.
The brother hasn't. Yeah. He strung off, like, 10 numbers and they were all wrong. Okay.
I, like, half typed out a message to give him more of a clue. I was like, I can't give more of a clue.
We're going on 5 minutes now.
Okay, we're ready to start. Are you guys ready for this?
This is Ihsahn, Twin Black Angels. I'm very interested to hear this. Should be some heavy death metal.
And go. Surprising sound.
These limbs feel like concrete, drifting through closed eyes, watching incapacities materialize, like in the song, a prisoner on my own device. I'm not a part of me, could be beyond me. What would it be? How would it feel if the ideals of self were real? Is it a cure or is it disease? Would I know emptiness from peace? Tracing the veils back to the start, raptures to tear the world apart, written in scars that never heal. This is the deal. This is the deal. Wake up like an undead, ashes of the night swirling through my head. Restless, heartless, ravenous. I'm not a part of me. Could be the unleashed. Cycling back to the crossroads of my dreams, where twin black angels lead the way. What would it be? How would it feel if the ideals of self were real? Is it a cure or is it disease? Would I know emptiness from peace? Tracing the fears back to the start, raptures to tear the world apart, written in scars that never heal. This is the deal. What would it be? How would it feel if the ideals of self were real?
That was really unexpected.
That's probably the understatement of the year.
Probably.
Golly.
I'm still processing that.
That's the same guy from yesterday.
Yeah.
The same vocalist.
Yeah.
Same guy.
Did he do both parts in this one?
Yeah. What do you mean, the vocal parts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird, right?
What do you mean both? Like the little
The
death metal
singing,
thing at
and then the death.
that little line?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all him. God almighty.
That's crazy.
He's a deep brother, man. I want to talk to this guy.
Is there anybody you don't want to talk to?
There's a lot of people.
That's the person I want to meet.
There's a lot of people. You've already met him. Shrunk. A lot of people I don't want to talk to. This guy, though, I want to talk to him. Because it's like, he's like an iconic black metal guy. You know what I mean? So it's like, I also want to talk to like a bunch of his fans and be like, yo, how do you feel about this?
How do
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I agree. That was so surprising.
like is there some like cognitive dissonance now, like liking your boy because now he's this was like a little bit like you won't know this reference, but a little Duran Duran-ish 80s.
You're right.
I mean, the guitar was subtle. It was still good. Like the there was a lot of palm muting, like, but he made sure it was subtle because it seems like he wanted the focus to be on on the vocals, which is different because yesterday it seemed like they wanted to focus on the atmospherics and the vocals weren't really a priority. You know, like in the final mixing, and it just might just be a practical ramification
that's
of production.
a band with other people, right? Now this is his own thing. So this is his artistic. Oh, but this is only one song.
But I mean, I know nothing about Emperor, but I'm pretty certain he's probably the alpha dog in that band anyway. So like the way that they did music was the way that he ultimately
Why
wanted
create
it.
your own then?
Because he has different outlets, and he couldn't do this as Emperor, probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or this is one song off the record. I mean, it's a song right before the last song, so who knows? Maybe the other
That's true,
shit.
because bands, a lot of them stick with a certain, like, it has to sound like this band.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just...
Who
it's
was
just,
the guy?
It's
Was
like
it-
us doing, like...
Was it Misha that said that they don't do that? No. Who was it? Which one? Yeah, which one of them said that they just go by what sounds good. They don't try to keep to a certain sound. Do you remember which one that was?
I
don't remember if
Might
that
have
was
been
Periphery,
Misha, might
or if
have
it was-
been... a lot of people say that, though.
Yeah, but there was one of them that...
But, like... Yeah. I just think certain bands, like, it's just impossible to go there in that band presently constructed. You know, so, like...
Yeah, sure.
I think you just... People go to other bands because they have other outlets.
Yeah.
It's like YouTubers. Like, they'll do different channels.
Yes.
They'll be the same person, but they'll do different channels because they're just... You know... They're just locked into a certain type of thing.
I kind of feel like we're going to start smashing everything all in together. Like the songs that you're putting out, they're not metal.
Well, I mean, some of them are going to be metal. I think ours is different though because everybody's so our conversations can go anywhere.
Yes, true.
They can
That's
be
true.
political, they can be theological, they can be about art, they can be about whatever. Relationships, and so if like we do a chat on a theological debate or if we do a discussion on a political topic, like it still fits within. And our audience is able to pivot a lot more than, I don't know how to make this not sound self-serving, but I think our audience are probably extremely intellectual people.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And like you said, they know
attracts
what they're coming in for. It could be anything.
Yeah, but so with this guy, it amazes. So when you talk about range. The last song we did yesterday, I mean, granted, it was probably 20, 25, almost 30 years ago. He's talking about, you know, dark fantasy, you know, type of, and this is kind of dark in its own way, but it's a lot more like human experience, introspection.
Yeah.
Who am I? What's going on with me? Type of thing. This is how the world is. Type of thing versus like more fantastical. You know.
Did you feel like the beginning part, spread out clean sheets. I mean, you're not the one that does that. I spread out clean sheets, but get the mind ready for deep sleep, fade out the cold lights. Still, these linens feel like concrete. Do you ever feel like that when you can't sleep? Like when I crawl into bed and I'm like trying to make myself sleep, I think about how comfortable my pillow is and how my sheets are nice and clean and nice. And,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, does it not work like that for you? You're like, I feel like I'm friggin' on concrete. Does it feel like that? Or your just mind is just so busy?
Yeah, my mind is usually too busy to like get this in. I'm not very aware
You know
of
what's
my body a
interesting
lot of the times.
That's true. That's true. I think you're more aware of it now than you were.
Yeah.
You used to be like not conscious of it. Sometimes like he'd be leaning up against like a wall and his head would be all cocked like this. I'm like, is that uncomfortable? He's like, I'm good. Like now you'll be like, you'll get a pillow to prop behind your head where before you like, that wasn't even like, even on your radar. Like, anyway, the thing with you though, when you're awake, like when I go through phases of being like an insomniac, it's always because I'm allowing my fears and worries to overwhelm me. So I'm awake thinking about everything that could possibly go wrong, or every place that I've ever screwed up, or this conversation with that person, did I say anything that could have offended them? You know, like overthinking all that stuff. But you are what, contemplating the world? Like it must be nice, like, you know.
There's a lot of shit going on in the world.
But are you kept awake sometimes by like negative thoughts, or is it
about
mostly
the world?
Just negative as a category? Like I'm saying, mine are a lot of like fears and worries and blah blah blah. I don't usually stay awake to contemplate my existence or like some like wow, some big I can't even think of a big word to say right now, but put a big word in here of like thinking about all the logical ramifications of this or that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or are you kept awake ever by like worrisome thoughts or what could possibly happen?
I don't really. That doesn't.
I know you don't
impede
get
my.
dictated by fear.
I don't really. That doesn't really impede my sleep. It's just
Sometimes fear bosses me around.
my
I hate
mind
being
has
bossed around.
to process things, but you know that's what he's dealing with. Drifting through closed eyes, watching incapacities materialize. Of course.
What do you mean incapacities?
Incapacities, the parts of himself that he can't get to function well. You know, like you're incapacitated, you can't walk or whatever.
Well, later on he talks about like if your ideals were actually like a thing.
If the ideals of self were real.
Yeah. Like what you thought of yourself, like the ideal version of yourself.
Your ideal self, right?
Yeah.
When you have your idea, you know, here's the obligatory Jordan Peterson reference. You have your ideal self, and then you have your shadow self.
Yeah.
So the ideal self is the self that you know, a lot of people can't really tell the difference between their ideal self and their actual self.
Yeah, I know.
So you have your ideal self, your actual self, and your shadow self, which is like your dark side, which you don't live in for most of the time, because then you'd end up in prison or whatever.
Right.
And then you have your ideal self, which you try to live up to, and it's impossible. In Peterson's mind, the ideal self is actually God. Like, so it's like this impossible standard that you'll never attain to, but that's what propels you towards self-improvement.
Yep.
So like I'm not clear, like when we actually get to talk to him, like I'm not clear that he actually believes in like a separate ontology where there's an actual divine being. It just seems to me that he's like, well, this is very functional for utility, you know. But here he's thinking about like, what if your ideal self were real? What would it be? How would it feel if the ideals of self were real? Is it a cure or is it a disease? Would I know emptiness from peace? That's a good line.
That is wild. I didn't hear that line. I heard the line before.
That's a good line, especially when you think about certain strains of Buddhism, right, or Hinduism. Pretty sure it's Buddhism, where it's like desire is the locus of all pain and suffering, and so to get to nirvana is like the cessation of all desire, nothingness.
Yep.
Not nothingness in the sense of like ontological nothingness, but nothingness in the sense of that you want for nothing, you don't have any more desires. Of course, if you could attain to that level, would that be a cure? Well, yeah, because then you wouldn't suffer anymore. But is that a disease? Well, at some level, like you can't enjoy things anymore.
Right.
So then look at the next line. Would I know emptiness from peace? Because it's like, okay, so now you don't have any desires, so you're not suffering. But now that's an empty way to live.
Mm-hmm. But
that's a very interesting line.
Emptiness is suffering, I think. In my perception,
emptiness is a void of suffering. Yeah.
Emptiness is a form of suffering.
A form of suffering, right?
Yes.
Right. Which goes to the question of, well, then what is peace? right? Because is peace simply the cessation of war,
Well, I think a lot of people
or the
define
end
it
of
that
conflict, or the
But
lack of conflict? A lot of people.
when Jesus talks about peace, he talks about it differently. He says I'm going to give you my peace, but it's not like the peace like the rest of the world gives.
Right.
So his peace is different.
Well, the Hebrew word shalom actually means wholeness.
Wholeness?
Ultimately, it's about
I love the
wholeness.
thought of being holistic. Just like
Right.
this holistic experience. It's not.
Yeah, and it's usually conceived of peace with God, peace with the self, and peace with the world.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember you
or
used to say
rightly
that.
relating to
Yeah.
God, self, and then the world. And so you're all so like none of those relationships are broken. So my vertical relationship is good, my internal relationship is good, my relationship with the world is good. That's peace. The fact that you're like in some neutral state with God isn't peace. A neutral state with yourself and a neutral state with other people, that's not peace.
Right.
In that thought process. But in this thought process, it's like it would be peace in the sense because nothing's happening, right? But like you could easily kind of disprove that idea with a thought experiment. Let's say I dropped you into a desert island, and there were no human beings there. Well, there's
I
no
wouldn't do
war.
well in that
There's
situation.
no war, but
Right.
are you at peace?
No.
Right?
No.
And it's like that movie Castaway with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Where I think the only thing that survived on the island was a soccer ball named Wilson.
Well, yeah, he did.
And then he colored him and all. And what was interesting was he ended up arguing with him.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I was a teenager and like, my Lord, you know how you're a teenager, your parents, they get on your nerves, you feel like they're always telling you what to do or whatever. Well, anyway, like I remember hitting that point and being like super annoyed with I love my mom, like, oh my gosh, you have no idea how much I love my mom.
I do.
But, I know you do. My mom's great, but like I was going through those teen years, I started to feel frustrated with her or whatever. Anyway, she ended up getting really sick, like deathly ill. Like literally we thought she was gonna die. She was so sick. And like, I remember one day thinking, like just being really afraid that like, what if she was dead? Like what if I get home and my mom's dead? And then I remember thinking I would give anything to have my mom back. Like, and then I was like, you know what? Like, even if it meant she was going to boss me around every single day and literally drive me up a wall, I would much rather have her driving me up a wall, totally annoyed and irritated with her, than to not have her at all. So I guess it kind of goes to that thought of like the conflict, the peace thing. Like,
Yeah.
you don't really want nothing because like,
Yeah, you can't define peace as just the cessation of hostility.
right.
Because I think human nature is such that we would rather have hostility than nothing. Which is interesting because, like I said, Tom Hanks, he lands on this island and he's not just good friends with Wilson, he starts fighting and arguing with him. Which I think is something very interesting.
Yeah, I hated that movie.
Tracing the fears back to the start, raptures that tear the world apart. We should watch that movie tonight, though, because I've never
Wilson?
really watched it. The Tom Hanks thing?
Oh God, there's no talking.
Castaway?
Barely no talking.
That's my type of movie.
What? I don't know if I can let Vikings go so we can watch that one again. You know what though? Maybe watching it with you, anything I do with you always turns out being more fun than I expected.
How
so
cute.
probably if I watch it with you, you'll probably pull out some really cool stuff about it. I hate it, but I didn't know I was going to a no talking movie. And then when I got there and there was no talking, I was like, "Are you serious?"
A no-talking movie.
Yeah, there's no relationship. No, I mean it's a.
I think we're talking about a different movie.
No, we're not. I'm talking about Castaway. Tom Hanks. He gets stuck
I saw
on an
a clip
island.
where he was talking to the soccer ball.
Yeah, a
Speaking
few
of
times he
soccer,
talks to the
shout out
soccer
to
ball.
England. You guys were my favorites, and then you lost to Croatia. Shout out to Croatia.
He's on his phone. He was like, "Oh!" He's like freaking out. I'm like, "What happened?" Because sometimes we get emails from people that are like just terrible stuff. I'm like, "What happened?" And then he's like, "They lost." I'm like, "Are you serious?" Okay.
Tracing the fears back to the start, raptures that tear the world apart, written in scars that never heal. This is a deal. This is a deal.
What? I don't know.
I think that the decision is between no pain but no desire and
Yeah.
thus emptiness. If you want to live a full life with the rapture of ecstasy or whatever, then you're gonna have to deal
Tear
with
the world
scars.
apart.
You're gonna have to deal with scars that don't heal. That's
Yeah.
the deal. That's the deal. Like, you can't have it either way in this world. You're either
That's
going
why
to
he
be
says this is the deal.
you're going to be empty and completely cured, or you're going to have all these moments of ecstasy and rapture, but you're going to end up scarred, and that's the deal. That's a very significant awakening, if that's what he meant, because he's right. You know, and every kind of form of theology or philosophy or way of looking at the world has to contend with the fact that, you know, every rose has its thorn. Like, the simultaneous capacity for beauty and ecstasy and fulfillment in this world that's always seems to be coupled with pain.
Yeah.
So our perspective is that there were no thorns initially, and then a curse. There's a curse, and so
Right.
you know, now they're both operating simultaneously because of the curse, but God hasn't completely took all the roses out of the world.
Right.
Wake up like an undead, ashes of the night swirling through my head, breathless, heartless, ravenous, ravenous. You know, like, it's interesting when he says spread out clean sheets, and then you talk about like ashes of the night and being ravenous.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, well, why emphasize clean sheets? And then later on talk about being ravenous.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Breathless, heartless.
Okay, so clean sheets because the night, this is a new night, and the night before was ravenous. Probably the same cycle the night before.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Like cyclically going through those and experiencing
Right.
the another part of me could have been the unleashed, forever circling back to the crossroads of my dreams where twin black angels lead the way. He titled the song These Twin Black Angels.
I loved the way he did that part when he started getting, because I didn't think we were gonna get any of the death vocal sound in there, and then when he got to this part, I was like, yes. And the lines, obviously, where twin black angels lead the way, it was perfect having that voice in there. Yeah, I liked it.
So what do you think the twin black angels are?
Oh, I just thought it was just. I don't know. Not necessarily. I know this. There's probably no such thing, but do you have an official thing of what you think it is?
An official one.
Like, do you have like some random thoughts,
I
or
have
do you
an
like something
idea.
that you're like, I definitely think? Okay, well, I just thought it was like the negative influences on you, but that are not necessarily like within your own self, but they're not necessarily like there's some thoughts that you have that are like, wow, that's obviously just bad, and then there's some stuff that's kind of like, and you kind of learn from those darknesses or whatever. And that's what I kind of thought it was. The twin black angels lead the way, showing him almost parts of himself. What did you think it was?
Forever circling back to the crossroads of my dreams where twin black angels lead the way. Well, he's circling back. He's
Yeah.
always going back there. So it's like a cyclical thing.
Yep.
And crossroads are the places where you make these
Decisions are made.
where you have to make a decision.
Yep.
And so, like, it's an interesting. My thought is like one angel's going this way, the other angel's going that way. But whatever angel he follows, he still ends up in the same place. See what I mean? So he's like led by these two black angels, and then they're
Yep.
and it's just a big giant circuitous route where he ends up back in the same place.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah.
So it seems
Yeah,
like
that seems-
like he's like cycling into a lot of introspection, which if I spend a lot of time on self-awareness, but self-awareness to me is not the end goal, because self-awareness is just, okay, this is where you are.
Yeah.
But my
You don't stay there.
well, right. It's like I feel like all of us are like so far behind on actually mapping out any real meaning or the destination to where we want to go in life, because we're not even aware of who we are as people yet. We're not even aware of ourselves yet. But becoming self-aware is just the beginning. My thought process is that the moment a person becomes completely self-aware, one of the first things that you really truly realize is you don't know what the fuck you're doing or where you're going.
Yeah.
It's a fact. It's like you sit there and you say, "Why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?" And like if you ask enough whys, you end up in that type of situation. And so the black angels are kind of, to me, like extensions of his self. And you think about it, the only coupling that I see in the song, aside from the two black angels, is cure and disease. but both of them are black in the sense that both of them are bad choices,
Right.
or both of them don't take him to any place any place different.
It's interesting because this one it's circling. I used to have these reoccurring dreams that it was 2 doors, and then I had to pick one of the 2 doors.
Right.
And then I pick one door, and when I get in there, I'm in a smaller room with 2 more doors, and I just keep going deeper and deeper. And each time I go, I'm like, maybe I should turn back, but maybe if I go, I'm gonna finally get out. But each decision only brought me deeper and deeper. But this guy he's just going around. He's not getting any deeper, but he's not going anywhere either.
He's not getting any farther either.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. So I think, like for me anyway, I think the solution is introspection is good because it'll tell you where you are, but introspection won't tell you where you need to go.
Right,
And
which is
I
why
think-
too much introspection is bad.
Yeah, too much introspection is bad because you what does the scripture say, that the spirit in a man is a deep well or deep waters, and so you can easily drown in
there,
in
yep.
your own spirit, in your own soul.
That's
A lot of people,
weird.
and a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
right? And so it's
Yeah.
like, of course, my contention is you need an external source to tell you, okay, this is, now you know that where you are, this is where you need to go, this is how to get there, and by the way, this is why you're on the road in the first fucking place. That's the real question. Like, why am I on the crossroads in the first place?
Right.
Immediately when you're at a crossroad, like the first thing in your mind is, well, I gotta make a decision where
Right.
I'm going. But why are you on the road? That's the question. and like, that's the point of that's why I make self-awareness such a major thing, because why are you on the road? So I almost feel like condescending to say that I'm blown away by how good these lyrics were, because I thought that they were. This is a guy who has lived some life. Like,
Yeah.
he has lived some life on terra firma, and he knows a lot of shit that he has a depth of understanding about being that he probably doesn't realize how deep he really is. He's a deep dude. This is some deep shit. And like, I'm blown away. Really, really good stuff.
What are you giving it?
It's a 9.8. The reason it didn't get a 10 for me was because I wish he would have like ended the song on death vocals.
Yeah.
So like all the pretty stuff at the beginning, all the Duran Duran stuff at the beginning, which I'm not saying pejoratively, I like. Maybe even layered it a little bit, like some,
I wanted it layered.
some Neo a little bit.
Yep. Yep, I wanted it
I don't like saying Neo. I feel like that's lazy. It's for lazy people. Navel Viscaris. I'm not lazy. What's up, Zen?
Linz, I'm sorry he said that about you. You're lazy. I don't think you're
Lynn says Neo?
Yeah, she's the one that called it Neo. That's where I got it from, was her.
No, other people call it Neo. She was probably saying that because she thought we were lazy.
What? Why did you flinch like that?
Thought you were
Oh
gonna
my
hit me.
gosh.
It was an abusive relationship. I really, really like this. A 9.8. I wish he would have just done some more death vocals, but maybe he's just tired of that shit. Or maybe he did the death vocals because he wanted to emphasize that specific line, because that's the crux of the song.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be.
Which, if that's what you did on purpose, you're a fucking genius.
Then it's a 10 for Vin.
Right. That's true. If he came back to me and said, yo, I did that because I wanted to emphasize that because that's the title of the track, and I knew that that's the line that would stick out to everybody because it was this one, black jelly bean in the middle of a bunch of pink jelly beans, I'd have been like, I love when people like make the arrangements part of the message.
I agree.
So if you did that, it's a 10. Of course, the incredible arrogance of some kid in a back room somewhere telling a person who wrote something at this level, I will give you
I know.
0.02 extra points.
But we're a reaction channel. What else are we supposed to do?
That's ridiculous.
The whole thing is arrogant.
The whole thing is an exercise in ego and arrogance. But,
Yeah. On that note, I'll give it an 8.
how dare you? Well, now I'm really gonna watch that movie. You can watch it with me or not. It's your affair.
I would go out for a walk. Alone.
Good.
In the dark.
Good. You should. Why would you say something like that? Anyway, we'll have this discussion later. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone.